Welcome to another Preakness episode of the Inside Post. Today we are giving you three of our long shots that we think could win on Preakness Stakes Saturday at Pimlico Race Park for May 20th, the second leg of the Triple Crown. So I think the only horse right now that has dropped out has been Confidence Game, and there's a question mark of whether Coffee with Chris is going to be running or not. We have the draw coming out Monday, May 15th, so that should give us a better understanding of what horses will be entered and some of the odds on the horse. So, of course, we have Mage, the Kentucky Derby winner, and probably the going to be the heavy favorite in here. So, we're going to give you three price horses that we think have a pretty good shot of playing the spoiler. So, we're using Racing Post for some past performances in here, and our first horse is going to be Disarm. Yes, Disarm is the one that's coming out of the Kentucky Derby as well. Finished fourth in there with Joel Rosario aboard, and just kind of ran out of room at the end. So interesting to see this horse as kind of the third choice, I believe, in here, third or fourth choice coming in at currently 8-1. We will see what the morning line's odds set this horse up at. But interesting enough, um, coming into this type of race for those connections of Steve Asmussen and Winchell thoroughbreds. However, going back to April, this horse was beat out by First Mission in that Keeneland Lexington Stakes. First Mission is also in here, so I feel like he's obviously Disarm is going to be at a bigger price. So we have the video of the fabulous Kentucky Derby. Um, Disarm is over here, number 11 in the white cap with the Winchell Thoroughbred silks on. And as you can see, he is currently placed ahead of Mage right now, who is in the blue. Um, but again, what a move Mage has made, or what a move Mage made in this race, being able to go 4-5 wide. As you can see, we have Disarm just to the inside, running into traffic. Not saying Disarm was in a bad spot, but it's kind of hard to get behind 3 or 4 horses deep and not basically do anything in the Derby. However, as we see this race come to the wire, um, we see really hard riding by Joel here on uh, Disarm, coming up to the lead or coming up to fourth place finish, and kind of just stops running. I feel like right there towards the end, really not catching anybody. If he's catching anybody, it's two fills. I felt like Angel of Empire and Mage was really pulling away from him in that big Kentucky Derby field. However, as you can see, Disarm kind of stuck to the inside, and Mage being able to sweep that big outside move. Another big price horse we're going to use is Blazing Sevens right now. This is Chad Brown trained, possibly going to have Irad Ortiz aboard coming out of the Keeneland Bluegrass Stakes, beaten third place in here behind Tappet Trice. Um, Again, maybe both of these horses, Tappet Trice and Blazing Sevens, need the extra distance. I think this was just a spot that Connections thought we should put it in the Preakness. It was set up for the Kentucky Derby, kind of was like a scratched out, pulled out kind of type deal. And here coming into the Preakness as a better fit. Um, of course, it's not going to have to run against Tapatry's verifying any of those type of horses. So interesting enough, I think the horse has some good speed, and currently I think it was at possibly a 30-1, 20-1. Don't think this horse is going to be that. I feel like this horse will probably maybe be 8, 9, even in the teens, as far as the fair odds that this horse could get on the morning line. Um, has raced against Forte 3 times coming out of that Gulfstream Park. I believe it was the Fountain of Youth. And then had nothing in there for that as well. And a couple of other times, one being at Keeneland and Saratoga. So what's interesting about Blazing Sevens, he's put in some really good works. We go back to this bluegrass, um, and he's kind of, I wouldn't say an off the pace type of runner, but he kind of gets lost in the shuffle um, here. And as you can see, number one is Tabit Tribes. Number eight, outside, will be Blazing Sevens, kind of making that late run. They start getting bottled up at the half mile pole. But he's kind of got a lot of kickback right now behind Tabit Tries, behind Verifying, and he's going 4 to 5 wide yet again, which again, that's kind of what a lot of these setups are to be shown. But here he is coming out, and he's almost in the 5-6 path and just really never kicks on, never really has anything left. It seems like he runs out of gas. He's looking like he is struggling as the front two kind of duel on. I really expected Blaze and Sevens, as we watch this, to kind of close the gap, not lose the gap in here. So that's kind of a big question mark. He does hang on in here to finish third, of course, but just kind of worrying about, is he in good form? Is he going to make um, is the distance going to be an issue? Is it kind of like a tiring phase? I feel like if Irad can keep him closer to the lead and not get so strung out on the turn, then I feel like Blazing Seven should have a better kick. At 20 to 1, if that's what the horse ends up being at, you have to take a shot with Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz. We are probably going to use this horse in our trifectas and maybe an exacta as well. And next, a horse that probably may not get a whole lot of attention will be Perform. He was kind of one of the first ones to say, "Hey, yep, I'm going to be at the Preakness." Comes out of Federico Stakes at Tampa. Uh, Interesting in here for, I believe, Shug McGahee. Um, not sure as of now who the jockey will be. Um, I don't know. I think they're still figuring those things out. I know there's um, Kendrick Carmouche being one, and maybe I don't know if Jose will be the other one. But interesting enough, he's ran 5 times, kind of was on off the Derby trail, has been beaten by Disarm, Raise Kane at Saratoga and Keeneland, going shorter. It seems like when the horse gets a little bit extra distance, so he's kind of going further in his past 2 starts, could be what this horse wants. So we went back to this Laurel Park um, Federico Stakes, and he will be the 7 horse here on the inside that is just smashed um, in on the inside rail. So he is buried almost dead last here, making the final turn. Um, and again, you could tell as you watch this, the horse has a ton of run. So it's slowly picking off horses one by one, has the number 4 just to the outside of him. Um, and it looks like he almost kind of loses some ground in the turn as they're coming. Camera kind of focuses away, kind of goes to the front too. Um, but this is where you really see that this horse is absolutely loaded. Here he draws right up behind number 3, coming down the stretch, has nowhere to go, tries to angle to the outside, nowhere to go, goes back to the rail and finally just sticks to the rail, and the horse just kind of explodes from there. And again, stay to the rail or are they going to pull out to the side? Nope, they're going right to the outside. And the maneuverability that this horse has just shown in that stretch run, passing 5-6 horses, was pretty impressive. Um, I mean, I know it's not a like race of big company horses that were in here. But the way that that horse was able to maneuver some traffic, kind of was buried in the back, ran into the back of 2 horses basically, and then just had enough like power to just power on by. At 30 to 1 or even 20 to 1, Perform is worth a shot to take a swing at in here. Um, Definitely one after we watched that video and kind of broke down what that horse was able to do. We're kind of going to go back and look at some of the other runners in there to see how they went out of their next race or what they did in their next race. Because after that, Perform looked really good to be one of the top 3 horses in this field. And especially at 30 to 1, definitely one long shot to consider in this type of race. However, he does come out of a race, so he doesn't have that extra layoff like some of these others of First Mission or National Treasure, even Red Route 1. But hey, if he's fully loaded again and he's in good form, perform looks really, really good at that price for me. So there's our 3 horses we think could be huge prices outside of Disarm on Preakness Stakes Day for May 20th at Pimlico Racetrack. So keep showing support. You guys are doing amazing subscribing and liking our videos, and we love interacting and talking about our picks and who you guys think. So make sure to leave us a comment, hit that subscribe button, share this video as many times as you would like. Let's try to get us to 1,000 before Belmont Stakes Day. We thank you, and we hope that you guys win big.